practice. We rehearsed for 6 weeks before opening even a classic like Richard III, so that we get everything right. And if you have one cast member wrong, it'll spoil the whole thing. If one of them isn't credible or doesn't do it right. And it's not just about remembering 2 hours of dialogue, it's about becoming a new person. You've got to think like Richard III, you've got to look like him, you've got to walk like him, you've got to be Richard III, and not everybody can do that. And it takes a lot of work and effort. So I think that's part of why it's as successful as it is. During this summit that we just had, something very unusual happened. Well, it was presented for the first time, rather than, I guess happened is the right description. Some of you will remember a musical called The Unsinkable Molly Brown, related to the Molly Brown house here, and who began in Leadville and Hall. It was a successful first musical and then a film. Well, a friend of ours persuaded Meredith Wilson's widow to let him totally redo the show. Took a while to persuade her, but she did. The only commitment we had was not to change the title, The Unsinkable Molly Brown. So we worked for 3 years with the Molly Brown house here, and the story is much closer to reality and much more about Colorado. We found some music in his basement that had not been published, and so we changed the story, we changed a lot of the music and some other things. Anyway, we presented that in our summit as a reading with the music, with the singer and piano, and then the reading of the various characters. And it was extremely successful. We're doing the same in New York City tomorrow, and we have coming the leading producers in New York, and if all goes as we pray, we will open the new Molly Brown in Denver in a year or two, just before it goes to Broadway. So we're very excited about it, and it's for us a big undertaking, and I'm nervous as I can be, as you can probably tell. I'll know more tomorrow night. We have one other interesting show currently that I probably should mention. It's called Girls Only. It was invented by 2 women in Denver based on their diaries. It turns out that women, at least it turns out to me, I didn't know this, that women, much more than men, write diaries, usually from the time they're 10 until they get married and they stop. And these 2 women began comparing their diaries, and they laughed till they couldn't talk. And so it's been turned into a show in our cabaret theater. We opened it last September. It is still running, and will be running next September, I think. We have a lot of interest around the country in it. We're committed to try it out in Des Moines and see how it goes there. Cleveland, Dallas, Sacramento, and there's someplace else. Anyway, that want to do the show, and we probably will do it. I have not seen the show; they won't let me in. When it started, we prevented men from coming, but our lawyers said you can't do that or you won't for long. And so we thought we could discriminate against men. We knew we couldn't want to against women, but I do see the numbers every day, and it's a huge, huge success. And it's about really growing up as a girl and as a young woman. And we're going to take it on the road, and we even have interest from Montreal. They're talking about doing it in French. This is a little out of our... anyway, I think I have 4.5 minutes left. Is that about where you are? We have at the DCPA, as you can tell, a large operation. We sold 678,000 tickets last year, and our revenue is more than all the other performing arts in Colorado put together. So if we screw up or get in trouble, it'll be a major problem in Denver, and it will be on the front page of the New York Times. So under these circumstances, how do we manage and what are we working on? First of all, we're very lucky in Denver to have the SCFD. It's going to be down probably 10%, we would guess, but still it's a rock, it's not going away. And for that reason alone, we will survive. But we are also becoming more efficient, checking out our energy use and looking at every place you can imagine. We're working harder, but we're going to maintain the quality no matter what. If we give up on that, we're dead. So we may have a few fewer plays, but we won't have lower quality plays. But we are facing the biggest test we faced in the 30 years since we were founded. But with the help of the SCFD and our friends and my colleagues there, we're going to be stressed but fine. One of the, to me, surprising and really more than surprising things about the performing arts is the dedication of the people who do this. I couldn't, having been in a lot of organizations and operations, but if you think about it, you're not in it for the money, you're in it because you love it. You can't be a druggie or an alcohol and do 2 hours on the stage very long. It's really challenging, and that same dedication, the break a leg, the show must go on kind of phrases really apply not only to the people on the stage, but the stage hands, the accountants, everybody in the organization. And if I were to call any one of them 3 o'clock in the morning and said, I got a problem, would you come down? They wouldn't ask me, what's your problem, Ritchie? They would be there as quick as they could get there. So with that, I think we have an enormous strength that will do what it takes, and we're not going to let you down. I hope you come to see us sometime, and I think I'm a little bit early, just in case my watch was on. I think we do have a few minutes for questions, and she'll stop us when we have to stop. Yes, sir.
How would you compare running a university with running an acting?
How would you compare running a university? Boy, I should have thought about this one with the DCPA. First, I think that universities, of course, are much more complex. And also, for me, at least in the beginning, take a lot of patience. For example, we did our first strategic plan, which was an innovation then, because they thought this was a business invention or curse or something. But we did it, and we did it in 2.5 years. And one of my board members said, Chancellor, I could have done this in 6 weeks and done it better. He was wrong, of course. It wouldn't have worked. So the intellectual challenge is at the university really a political challenge for that matter. But at the same time, it is, I thought, a great fun. And it is something also which is much more predictable than the theater. In the theater, every show is a new adventure. You just don't know how it's going to do. You can guess. But even the most experienced people who've seen this time after time after time make mistakes. And you see that in movies too, for that matter.